So we're gonna go ahead and start with the paint. This is the colors I got. We're gonna do the sky and the moon first, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, so let me put this on the side. Get my brushes ready. Okay. We got a lot to do, so here we go. Let's get the skies in. This is my favorite part, just coloring. Gonna color this. Remember, there's not. You want to paint the edges. If you have one of these type of canvases, you want to get the edges colored too. Go through black. I chose a smaller canvas so that way we don't spend too much time painting in the future. We'll do bigger videos with bigger canvases. But let's start small for now. This is all practice for me. And since I love teaching, this is a perfect hobby. Okay. Let's put it in my layer. And get some purple. It's not purple, it's actually called lilac, but since we're using acrylic, I'm trying to get this foggy look. Now it's okay if it mixes with the black, because that's what I want. I just want a hint of purple in the sky. Let's get that all in. And it's okay if you mess up because this is paint. I'm just gonna go over it. So it's not really a mess up, just a different way of doing something. And trust me, I have made so many mistakes painting and drawing. Sometimes you just gotta let them go because you don't realize that someone else might think your artwork is really great and you're withholding that piece of artwork or something you're good at from everybody, and you gotta just be happy. I know there's a lot of drawings I've done that I just kind of threw away, and people were like, why? And I always tell them the same thing. I didn't think it looked great, and usually their first response is, I thought it was cool. So gotta have confidence in yourself. Okay. Almost done with my sky. Now, same with the same paintbrush, I'm gonna get some lilac like this, and I'm gonna do that. It gives it like the foggy effect and adds more color. Makes your sky look a little bit more real. because if you ever notice when you look at the night sky, well, especially when there's a full moon, it's still not pitch black. The night sky, at least. Space is pitch black, but we're not painting space, we're painting a sky. Now you're welcome to use the colors that I'm using. If you have your own colors and you want to paint it a different way, that is fine. Like I said, this is just a template for you guys. You guys can express yourself creatively. Express your creativity in your own way. Get more of this purple. I'm doing a circular motion. That's one side of the sky. Let's get the other side. Now over here, I don't know if you notice, I kind of went into my lines, and I'm just going to leave it. I guess it's meant to be. I'm going to add purple over here. So it breaks up the paint a little bit more on this side. Okay, so we got our sky so far. Go ahead and clean your brushes. I'm gonna get started on the moon. Well, actually, I'll change brushes. Here. And I'm gonna get started on the moon. Now I'm gonna use a light color first. It's ivory. I thought ivory looks very cool. It looks like the moon. If you look at the moon, it's not. Well, at least in the Tim Burton moon, it's not completely white. It's a little yellowish. Go ahead and add that. Now I'm going over the black paint just a little bit, just to give my moon kind of like a 3D shape, like a sphere. Since the moon is a sphere. So it's important to have shadows. Now this is not the only color I'm going to use. This is just going to be the base color pretty much. If you notice, the charcoal is kind of blending in with the paint, which that's what I wanted. But if you don't have charcoal, you might see the lines still from your pencil drawings. And if that's the case, you're just gonna have to add more paint to cover it. That's it. It's no big deal. Now I'm not putting in the paint on Jack just yet. I should do that next. But I'm adding paint to like the major pieces of this painting. So the moon is big. Our mountain is big. It takes up most of the space. So I want to get that out of the way first. Makes you feel like you're making progress too once you get that down. Now, I like to listen to music while I paint, but I don't have the rights to The Nightmare Before Christmas, so if I play that music right now, I'll probably get my YouTube page taken down. And I just started. Now I'm going to get a little bit of the dark yellow now. I'm going to go over the edges like this. And get the sides. Just like that. Get the sides of your moon with the darker yellow. And kind of just have it blend in with the lighter color as you go towards the center of your moon. Same thing on this side. Just like that. I'm gonna have my moon go up to the edge of the painting frame. The frame. Yeah, that looks cool. See? You can always change up your paintings as you're going along when you're painting. Sometimes you're like, oh, actually, if I add this, it's gonna look cooler. Happens to me all the time. Come back and fix the moon a little bit, but I'm already liking what we got so far. Whew. Alright, so you're gonna want a paintbrush that is thin. And if you don't have one, I suggest for you to get one. And if you don't have one, I suggest for you to get one. I guess you could use a toothpick, but I would definitely get a paintbrush that is thin, especially since we got a lot of detail we need to add. So here we go. Let's get Jack first. Okay, he's a little bit easier. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint, get my black. Now carefully, since your paint's kind of wet, it should be dry on this side by now, but if it's not, be very careful. You're gonna just draw, or you're gonna go over the pencil lines you made of him. And they don't need to be that much detail because he's far away, so you can't see all the details of Jack Skeleton. Okay. Take your time. Take your time. This part's very important. Okay, so he's got his little frills. He's got a neck. Now he has a, I believe it's a spider or a bat as his bow tie, but he's far away so we can't see it. But it's there. Now if we mess up, we'll just let it dry and we'll go over it with a different color. Or we'll make the moon. We'll use the moon as our mess up corrector. I don't have a word for it. Oh. I'm going to use a little bit of water. Sometimes the paint might be too thick and you get a little bit of water, like so. And you get a little bit of paint. And the water will help you manipulate the paint. Just like that. So I get a little paint, a little bit of water, go on my little paint palette, mix that with the water, makes it a little bit more inky, and then you can move your brush more freely. I'm gonna have to fix this arm right here. But we got pretty much Jack Skellington down. All right. Basically the outline of him. There he is. Now the only detail I'm gonna add to him is his face. I don't have to add a lot since he's far away, but just enough we know it's Jack Skellington there. Let's fix his frills. There we go. Okay, and while we're at it, let's get Zero situated. Kind of made Zero a little bit big. He's a lot smaller than this, but it's alright. It's my painting. And Zero's a happy dog. There's one flappy ear. And there's another one in the background. So now we have Zero. And we can paint this area now that we have the details for that all squared away. Gotta look up. I think Zero has a tail. Gotta look that up. Okay, and let's go back to the moon. I'll let that dry. Let's go over here. I'll let that dry. Add some water to this paint. Okay. I'm gonna come over here and fix his hand. I want to make sure it looks like Jack Skellington and not Slender Man. Go ahead and clean this up. It's okay if we paint him a little bit, we can always go back with the color black and fix anything if we want to. We don't have to. Go ahead and cover this spot up, and if you get 0 with the paint, like I said, you can always go back, retouch it. It's looking pretty cool. Go ahead and clean your brushes. Make sure you always clean your brushes, because brushes aren't cheap and you gotta make them last. Now, I thought of something right now. I thought we can add this. If you get your purple, you can make a thin line with your purple. Just a really thin line around your moon. Thin line, just like this. Kind of like outline your moon with it. I think it'll look pretty cool. Do it on this side too. Because the moon is giving off light well, it's reflecting the light from the sun, and the way the light reacts, it bends, it moves, and it mostly bends. It's the cool thing about light, it bends. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. So we have our purple outline. Alright, let's get the hilltop ready. While we wait for this to dry up, we'll add more detail. Let's get the hilltop ready. So I'm going to clean my brush again. Get some paint. Finish this area right here. There we go. Okay, now the hilltop. Hilltop's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to use black, like so. And we're going to get the black, we're going to get a little bit of yellow. We're going to make a color. Let's make a color. Okay, we're going to make a grayish color. And you know what, I'm going to add some purple. I think that's the color I want right there. There we go. And that will be our hilltop color. Now we're gonna add some detail to this since that's a little bit more black. Make it a little darker. So let's add some yellow again. Lighten it up. A little bit of purple. Lighten it up. Let's try to find that color. Now, if you don't want to mix colors, that is okay. I like to mix colors because it's good practice. Okay, this is the hilltop color I want. Yeah, I like this. Okay. So with our color, it's like a light dark gray. We're gonna go ahead and color the hilltop. We're gonna add detail to this hilltop later. Let's just get the color down first. Okay, make sure you don't paint over Sally. If you drew Sally. If you didn't, just go right ahead. Paint over it. I'm gonna move my canvas around. I like having a camera pointing at it. It's a new way of painting. Okay. Okay, get this over here. Now, I'm gonna pause this video because when I get to a certain point, I want to make sure that this section here is dry because we're gonna add more colors to this. And we're gonna add texture. Ooh. paint as much as I can. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this color again. Sally. Go around her. Alright, so I'm going to take a break. You guys are welcome to pause it. But I'm going to put a break on this painting right now because I need this gray to dry. I can't do the next part unless the paint is dry. Alright, let me go ahead and let it dry. Coffee break.